Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Cara K. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made these orange tapestry pockets, the orange drawstring, and the lacy summer edging. So like I said, I wanted to give these orange pants a summer feel, so I did a different edging than these green pants. I did a ribbed cuff of about 10 stitches wide, and I think it just gives it more of a cozy feel. So it's the same ribbing that I did for the waistband of the green pants and the orange pants I showed you last week. All right, so let's get to it. I'm sorry, but my camera cut out, unfortunately. So all we're going to do here is we're going to do one round of green single crochets around the edge of the pant leg, and then we're going to do another round of single crochets in the orange color. And of course, it doesn't have to be these exact colors, but you get what I'm saying. So as I'm showing you here, we're just doing one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So one round of green, one round of orange, and I will meet you back at the end. All right, so all I did was I slip stitched into my first stitch here. Now I'm going to chain one and single crochet into that same space. And now I'm going to chain 3 to start the lace work. We're going to skip one space and slip stitch into the next stitch. Right? So again, you're going to chain 3 and you're going to skip a space, slip stitch into the next space. And I'll show you again, chain 3 and skip one, slip stitch into the next space all the way around, and I will meet you at this last piece. Okay, so now we are here, and as you can see, we have one space, the single crochet from earlier, and we're just going to slip stitch into the top of our first round and chain 3. And now we're just going to continue, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of each of these chain 3 spaces, chain 3, slip stitch into the top. So this is super simple, and it makes a really nice lacy summer edging. So again, slip stitch, chain 3 all the way around until you get to the end. So now we are at our last space from the previous round. We're going to chain 3, and that will end our second round. Now you can do another round, or if you'd like to finish here, we are just going to slip stitch into this little slip stitch from the previous round so that we have an equal amount of loops on all sides, so it's all even, right? So I just slip stitch right into that slip stitch from the previous round, and I cut my yarn and pulled through, and now you're just going to weave in those ends. All right, so now we're going to move on to the tapestry pockets, and you need to decide how big you want your pockets to be. You can do this by chaining a certain amount and holding them up to your pants. I made mine 12 stitches by 12 rows, and each block is going to be a stitch. So each block equals 1 stitch. I made this using pixelart.com, and I just drew my orange in the center. So now we're going to make our tapestry accordingly. I put a slip knot onto my hook, and now I'm going to chain 12 because that's what the pattern is telling me to do. So I'm going to chain 12 here, and if you look at my graph, you can also see that there's one of the corners is gone, and that's because I wanted the pocket to slant there. Now I'm just counting out my stitches to make sure I have 12, chain 1 as a turning chain, and now we're going to work our way back. I like working into the little, I call them the bellies of the stitch. I think it's just easier to work on the other side. Sorry, this website has a lot of ads, but you know, we're doing what we can. So I'm going to work my way back through these stitches and just make sure after each row you still have the amount that you started with. So I'm doing single crochets, and I'm going to be doing 3 rows of this according to my graph before I start the next color. So as you can see, I'm counting just to make sure I am on track. Single crochet all the way across. Now I'm going to go into my 3rd row, chain 1, and single crochet all the way across. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit out of frame here. So we're just going to single crochet all the way across. So now we are on the 4th row, which is where I need to change into my colors. So if you look at the graph, I will be changing my color on the 6th stitch. So my 6th stitch needs to be orange, which means that on my 5th stitch, I need to change colors. So you do this by putting both, you start your single crochet, both loops are on the hook, and you pull in your next color so that when you make your next single crochet, it will be the orange color and it won't have any white in it. Okay, so we're going to tighten this up, and I'm just going to work over my white and that orange tail. And according to my graph, I need to do 2 orange pieces. And again, because I need to change to the next color, the next stitch needs to be white. So at this point, I'm going to do half a single crochet and pull through with the next color, the white color. And once you change colors, make sure that you pull the orange working yarn towards you. And now I'm going to finish out my row. The reason why you need to pull it towards you is so that the orange yarn is on the right side when you work your way back. Right, so in our next row, we need to change colors at the 4th block because our 5th block needs to be orange, right? So we're gonna, as you can see, I already did 3 stitches. And now going into my 4th stitch is where I'm going to change over colors. And conveniently, my yarn is already in the right place because I pulled it towards me in the last row, right? So, sorry. I'm going to work over my white yarn so that I have it available whenever I need to change colors again. And now I pull my orange yarn through, and I'm going to do 4 orange stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, and I need to change colors again. So I do half of my stitch in orange, switch to my white color, pull my orange color towards me, and continue working all the way till the end. And just for always remember to chain 1 as a turning chain. So as you can see, it is resembling the graph, which is great. All right, for our next row, we are going, we're going to be changing colors on the 3rd stitch. So I already did 2 single crochets, and going into my next stitch is where I'm going to change colors because my 4th stitch needs to be orange. Again, I'm holding the yarn, the white yarn, in the middle so that I just work over it and carry it with me to the other side. Okay, and now for this row, I'm going to be doing 6 orange stitches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my 7th stitch needs to be white, which means I need to change colors on this next stitch. So in we go, pull through with the white, pull the orange yarn towards you, and continue working. Now the next row, according to the graph, is going to be exactly the same. The only difference is we're going to need to decrease. So when I start my next row, I'm going to decrease by 1. So I'm working from the left to the right, which means I have my 3rd stitch in, and I'm going to change over to the orange. And once I get to the other side is when I'm going to do my decrease. So again, here I have 6 orange stitches, and I'm working over that white yarn just to carry it with me. Sorry, I keep having to click out of these advertisements. Right, so I'm almost to the point where I need to change again, and I ran out of yarn. Sorry about that. So I'm going to pull through my next color because we are changing it again. I'm going to pull my orange yarn towards me, and at this point in time, I'm going to do my decrease. So I'm going to do a single crochet and decrease by doing half a single crochet, half a single crochet. So you have 3 loops on your hook and pull through. Now, I'll show you that again. Put your hook through, pull through, hook through the next stitch, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook and pull through all of them. Now you have decreased by 1. So in the next row, we have to decrease again. So we're going to chain 1, and when we turn our work, I'm going to skip the first stitch, and I'm going to go right into the next stitch, so that gives me my decrease. And then in this second white, I'm going to do 1 more white, and I have to change colors because I'll be doing, according to the graph, 4 stitches in orange. So I'm going to carry the white with me, grab the orange, change my color, and I'm going to do 4 orange stitches before I change back to white again. Now, on this next row, it's going to resemble when we first change colors. We're going to do 5 and change colors to the orange. So only 2 orange this time. Right, so I'm going to change to the orange color right now. Again, sorry, I'm out of frame. This was really hard to do. Okay, so you're just going to follow that graph, or whatever graph that you decided to do, and at the end you're going to snip off the yarn long enough so that you can weave in the ends. I'm going to show you how I did the edging on these pockets. So I attached the yarn into the bottom right hand corner because I'm going to work in a round, and then when I get back to the other side, I'm going to do 2 rounds only on the top. So that's why, you'll see in a second, but that's why I started in the bottom right hand corner, and I tied in my yarn to the last stitch of the first row. So once I start, I'm going to chain 1, and once I start my first single crochet, it'll be in that first stitch of the side. Okay, now this part is, you're just going to do single crochets, and you align them with the row of the white. So I'm just going to do single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you at the top corner. So now that we're at the top corner, all we're going to do is chain 1 and single crochet all the way down. Super simple, just like we did on the other side. And again, you're going to chain 1 for the bottom corner, and I'll meet you at the other side. Now that we're here, we're going to slip stitch into where we added our yarn, chain 1, and single crochet into that same space. Now I'm going to do about 4 single crochets, and then I'm going to start my picot stitch. So you do 2 single crochets for the picot stitch, chain 3, and then you're going to go right into the top of your last single crochet. So 2 single crochets, chain 3, and you put your hook right in there, slip stitch it on. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Again, 2 single crochets, chain 3, put your hook right through the top of the single crochet and slip stitch it through. And I did picot stitches up until the top corner, but it's really up to you what you would like to do. And then I continued on with my single crochets. So this is why I started in the bottom corner, because I'm going to stop here with the green color and I'm going to cast off. So I did 2 rows on the top and 1 on the bottom. Now I want to sew this on to match the other side. So what you can do to make sure they match is you try to follow a line. You pick a line like this one aligns with this row of groups of granny stitches. So I'm going to try to keep that according to the other side. So I'm following this little group of granny stitches because that's what the other side follows. And I need to attach it about 4 stitches up. So I counted out 4 stitches on the side. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this on. And I'm not the best sewer, so if my skills are just grotesque to you, I'm so sorry. But basically all I did was I found a secure point to attach it to, pulled it through and looped it through one of the stitches. I looped it back through and then found another secure space. Just make sure that you are staying in line with the row that you chose or the line that you chose, right? So I want to stay in line with that row of granny crochets, like granny stitch clusters. I don't know what to call them. So that's all I'm going to do, is I'm going to do my best to keep this in line so that it matches the other side. And again, as I turn, I'm going to find a secure space to attach this. Right under here. Sorry, again, you can't see, but I just find somewhere that looks sturdy and that's in line with where I want the pocket to go, and I sew it through. And you're going to do the same thing when you get to the other side. Just try to keep it in line. And I'll show you one more time. Here I go in with found another sturdy place to attach it and through the top. Now our pockets are attached and beautiful, so all we need to do is weave in these ends and we're all set. Now we're going to move on to making this drawstring cord, which is a basic I cord. And what you need to do is you need to measure out how long you want your drawstring to be. I just used the other pants as a reference. So you see roughly how long you want it to be. And then you need to measure out 5 times that length. I tried to show you, but the frame was not big enough to capture this. So you need 5 times the length of the size that you want. And once you find that length, you're going to make a slip knot and attach your hook like I'm doing here, except I messed up. So we're going to make a slip knot in that space, and you're going to have a tail that is 5 times the length of your desired cord. And this is extremely easy. All you're going to do now is you're going to take your tail. Sorry, I'm just moving this so you can see which is which. So you're going to take your tail, wrap it over your hook. Then you're going to take your working yarn and pull it through both. That's it. Tail over, take your working yarn, pull it through both. Tail over the hook, working yarn, pull through both. And you are going to do this until you reach your desired length. So again, tail over, just make sure it's tight and secure, and working yarn through both. One more time, tail over, and pull your working yarn through both of them. So I want to show you how to cast off when you're done. You're just going to cut your working yarn and pull it straight through the loop on your hook. So once you pull that through, you can either weave it in or use it to tie on your oranges. And then this is how I decided to weave in my drawstring. I just picked the 4th stitch from the top so that it would be in the middle, because my band was a total of 7 stitches, and I wove it through like this. Last but certainly not least, we're going to be making the orange slice. So you're going to start off with a magic circle and chain 1. Then you're going to work 6 single crochets into the center of your magic circle. So I have 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to tighten this up so that I can slip stitch into the other side. Now what we need to do here is we need to tighten this quite a bit, and because we're going to change colors, I decided to make a slip knot into my orange yarn so that I can slip stitch into the first chain with the orange. So to close off the round, you're going to slip stitch with the orange and chain 1. Now you're going to work 2 single crochets in each stitch, but we're going to change colors every 2nd stitch. So just bear with me. We're going to pull through with the orange color, and now because the next stitch needs to be white, if I can get this around, we're going to finish the stitch with the white by pulling it through both loops. Now I'm going to make another single crochet into the same stitch, pull through when I have 2 loops, and finish the stitch off with the orange. Now we're going into the next loop, single crochet, finish it off with the white, and another single crochet in the same loop, finish it off with the orange. Don't worry, the first round is the most tedious. It only gets easier from here. First stitch orange, finish it off with white, and then a second crochet, single crochet into that same stitch, finish it off with orange. And you're going to do that all the way around. You should have 12 stitches at the end. Now we are going to slip stitch again to finish off the round. So we're going to slip stitch back into that chain 1 and chain 1. And now we're going to single crochet into the first loop. So now we're going to be doing 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the second stitch. But we're going to be changing colors every 3rd stitch. So as you can see, I changed colors on the second orange one instead of every other stitch. We're going to change it every 2 stitches. So now I have 1, 2 in orange, but I'm going to finish off the second one with white so that I can do a single crochet in the same stitch, right? So we're doing 1 single crochet in 1 stitch, 2 single crochets in the next. And they're going to be 2 orange, 1 white, 2 orange, 1 white. Every time you get to one of the little white stitches, that's where you're going to do your increase basically. And now we are at the end. We need to slip stitch in with the orange, so we're going to do a color change here. Slip stitch, chain 1, and just like we did in the other rounds, I'm going to single crochet into the same space, but now we're going to single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we're going to have 3 orange, 1 white. So every 3rd orange stitch, you're going to change over to white. And in the same stitch, you're going to do a single crochet in white, finish it off with orange. And don't worry, this is the last round that we're going to do this, and it will be all worth it in the end when you have a cutie patootie orange slice drawstring. All right, so again, 1, 2, 3, change to white. In the same stitch, single crochet with the white and finish it off with orange. Okay, and you're just going to do that all the way to the end. 1 orange, 2 orange, 3, finish it off with white. And in the same stitch, oh yeah, by the way, don't worry about carrying the white on the back. It's not going to look very pretty, but we're going to be closing this orange up so you won't see it. Now, all you're going to do is you're going to single crochet with orange all the way around, but do not cut off the white yet. Just leave it there because we need it one more time. Okay, so let's work a round of single crochets, no increases, just 1 single crochet in each loop all the way around till you get to the other side. Now I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit scary. I want you to loosen that up and leave it before you slip stitch. So take the orange off the hook. You can put a stitch marker in there so you don't lose it, but if you feel comfortable, you don't have to do that. Now what we're going to do is called surface embroidery. Don't worry, it's very easy. I just put my hook right into where the white ends on the 4th row. So that, hold on, as you can see, you put your hook through. I'm struggling right now, just give me a second. And pull the white through your work. All right, now to surface, I'm going to show you again, pull the white through just like that. Okay, one more time, hook through, pull it through to the front. Now you're going to be working in this line, and right in the next space, you're going to pull the white through and slip stitch. Just like so. And into the next space on that line, we're going to do it again. Reach your hook through, grab your yarn, just like that, pull it through and slip stitch. Again, through the next hole, grab your yarn on the other side and slip stitch again. So this is super simple. Don't worry if you don't get the hang of it right away. You can just, rip it out. But you're going to work into that line all the way around. Now that we're at the other side, we are going to slip stitch our last one into where we started this line or circle. And you're going to cut your yarn. And now we're going to do what is it called? A seamless, an invisible join. There we go. All right, so you're going to need a sewing needle. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the sewing needle and put it under the top of that slip stitch. So right underneath both lines or strands of the slip stitch, and you're going to pull it through, tighten it up, and this will give the illusion that it's also a slip stitch. So you're going to pull it through just like that, and then you're going to insert your hook into the middle of the previous slip stitch like so. And you can pull it through like this, or you can pull it straight through to the back. Okay, and at this point you can weave in your ends a little bit. You don't have to worry about weaving them in completely, but I'm going to weave mine in just a little bit, and my needle broke. Ignore that. But I'm going to weave mine in just a little bit and use the ends to stuff the orange, so don't cut them off. Now we're going to remove the stitch marker, put our hook through, and we're going to go into that first chain one space of our previous round, and we are fold your orange in half and put your hook through both stitches. So the starting and the ending stitch of the previous round, and you're going to slip stitch through them. So just align them together and slip stitch through both to sew them all, to sew the sides together and create the orange slice shape, right? So you're going to work all the way through just like this. All of your stitches should be aligned just like so. Sorry, I'm out of frame. And now at this point, I'm going to put my ends into my orange slice and use them as stuffing. And you can also use whatever ends you have lying around. I know I had a few. All right, so I just stuffed them in my orange, and now we're gonna do a magic trick and sew it all up like they were never there. And you can't see this because I'm the worst, but as we make our way to the end, we're just sewing away all of that nastiness, and we don't have to look at those ends ever again. Now, we're actually going to make our last slip stitch through that very last stitch and chain one, because we're going to turn it on the other side and do the exact same thing. This is just to add detailing. I think that when you add slip stitches around something, it almost gives it like an edge, right? So also try not to pull too hard with this, otherwise it's you're going to create an indent, and we don't really want that. I mean, unless that's what you're going for. So now it's giving it that nice little edge all the way around, and when we get to the end, you can just pull completely through and cast off. And I use this same side I tie this same side to my drawstring, which I'll show you how to do in a second. Look how cute that is. Adorable. All right, so I'm gonna grab my scissors, cut this off, pull this through, and I'm gonna show you how I attach this. It's super simple. All I did was take my string, my green string from my drawstring, just the ends, and I used that with a sewing needle and just put the needle through the top of my orange, just the very top stitch, and I tightened it as much as I could and then worked back into the drawstring, into the first or last row of stitches, just like so. And I just kept doing this over and over again until it was completely secure. And when I felt like it was secure, I cut off a majority of the ends and stuffed the rest into the orange as well. And that is it. Now you have your cute orange drawstrings, your orange tapestry pockets, and your lacy edging. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more.